How's it going? Galore Wrestling Figures here. Welcome to another video. And today I'm going to be reviewing the Elite 101 Cody Rhodes. Now this is Cody Rhodes' first Elite in about 7-8 years. And now I'm glad that I could get this because I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan. And also I know that it's quite a good figure. And now originally I've always been quite hyped for this figure. And I've been wanting it since it first got shown off. And now I was going to... When Smith's got this in stock, I was going to go in and get it, but they haven't quite got it in stock yet, and I was fine waiting. But one of my good friends, I'll put his name up on the screen now because he has got an Instagram account. He pointed out to me the other day that Smith's had them for home delivery, and I was like, you know what, I may as well just order one now because chances are it'll probably sell out quite fast, and it did, so I'm glad I could get one. And I got next day delivery as well, and it came like it said next day, and I was quite good by that. But before I start the video, I will say that if you plan on ordering anything from Smith's, expect your box to be a bit damaged because mine had no bubble wrapping whatsoever. But the box is in quite good condition, but there is a few dints on it because it had no bubble wrap. But it ain't too bad. But if you are a mock collector, you might want to keep that in mind. And as always, let's go on to the accessories. You do get a couple of accessories with this, and it is a shame you don't get an entrance jacket. But to be honest, it is an Elite, and I don't really think that I'd probably want to have an entrance jacket in it just yet. And they will probably have one in another Elite that he has upcoming. But I suppose the reason they probably haven't included one is because the Ultimate Edition's getting one. But nonetheless, the accessories that we have been given with this figure are quite good. And of course, because it is Cody Rhodes, you do get a weight belt. And now, I know some people are too big of a fan of this weight belt, but to be honest, I don't mind it. And now, of course, you have got Nightmare on there with Cody's logo. Now, the main talking point about this belt is sort of how the buckle is done. So, I have actually got an AEW one here. This is from his Supreme. And of course, this is what the belt buckle's supposed to look like, and that's what it looks like. But to be honest, it isn't too bad. As you've seen at the start of the video, it sort of just goes around Cody like that. And they probably will upgrade them, but it's the same as Hulk Hogan or anyone that's got a weight belt. They do have them like this, but yeah, it's not too bad. There's a side-by-side comparison of the weight belts. I do have a Supreme, well, I have two Supreme Codys, so I do have a couple of weight belts for them. Of course, the Supreme weight belt is a bit smaller. That focuses, yeah, it is a bit smaller, but also I think that the logo is slightly, this one's sort of more bright and this one's sort of more dark. Yeah, it looks like that. It looks like that on camera, but also in person as well, so I think that's sort of the main difference. But overall, it's the size and the belt buckle, but as a starter, it's not too bad, especially when you have it wrapped like that. But yeah, I don't mind the weight belt. And of course, you do get a couple of pairs of hands. Oops. You do get a fisted right hand and a fisted left hand. Of course, the right hand has got the wrist tape on, which I always do like. Nothing too much going on there, but it's always good to have a spare pair of hands. And then we do also get sort of a wide open hands with the fingers sort of down. I think Drew McIntyre's Elites sometimes come with these. I'm not too sure what you'd call them, but of course wrist tape as well. And I can't remember the figure, but I remember sometimes there is figures where sometimes the alternative hands don't have wrist tape and some do. They just leave them out on the interchangeable hands, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, they have, of course, put wrist tape on all of the pairs of hands that are supposed to have them, so that's good that they've done that. And that covers it for the accessories, and now let's move on to the figure. Here we are with the Elite 101 Cody Rhodes. And now, as a first figure in 7-8 years, I think they've done a really good job. And now, I want to start off with a head scan first, because the head scan is excellent. And of course, this is a new head scan. It ain't like his basic, I think 136, I have got that one. I think that one was just sort of one of his old ones, just repainted. But this is a completely new head scan. It does look like some of his AEW ones. Of course, he's got that sort of signature facial expression he's got. And I think they've done a really good job. They've printed it quite well. and it's quite good. And of course, one thing I do want to mention is the tattoo, because I know some people aren't a fan, but to be honest, I don't mind it. Of course, it does go onto the neck, which is more accurate, but if you do move the head, you see you've got a bit of a gap here. And now, to be honest, if in real life Cody realistically did this, I'm pretty sure this part of the neck tattoo would move, but it's just that little gap there, which is a bit annoying, but, you know, it isn't too bad. Of course, if you've put the head like that, then it doesn't really make that much of a difference, but yeah, overall they have nailed the tattoo quite well. That focuses. It does look quite good. And mine has got a few scuffs on, unfortunately, as you can see there. That focuses right on sort of the torso there, I think there, but nothing too bad. And of course, you have got the dream tattoo, and they did include chest hair on this, which I do appreciate. When they add that, it just adds more detail. And yeah, I don't feel like it's too muscly. I feel like they've done the correct torso. And unfortunately, I'm not too sure if it's just mine, but mine has sort of got the where one of the arms is sort of sticking out a bit, but I have sort of managed to fix it a bit just by moving the hands in, so it's not too bad. And of course, the hands you do get on them are, I think, mic holding hands. Might be wrong on that, but just sort of like partially open. So they are quite good. And of course, you have got double jointed arms, or double jointed pinless arms, I should say, which is quite good. And then of course, you have got his wrestling tights, which they have done these quite well. Of course, nothing sculpted on here or painted on, but they have done it quite well. If that focuses, yeah. And of course, you've got what's sort of supposed to be some buckles here. Nice red, sort of, you could say. Yeah, it does look quite good. They have done it all quite well. Of course, it goes all around. The attire, yeah, they have done it quite well, especially that. I think they print these instead of painting them, but if you just look at that there and that, they have done it all quite well. Nothing, you know, misplaced noticeably, so it does look quite well, and they have done it quite well. So thanks to Mattel for that, because yeah, they have done that quite well, which I am impressed with. Of course, you got the knee pads as well. This one, they have done quite well, and I'm not too sure what this logo is here and there. And as big as I'm a Cody fan, I don't actually know what that Cody logo is. I think it's supposed to be an eagle, but I might be wrong on that. But they have done it there as well, quite good. And they have sort of they haven't done the best job of this gold around the knee pads, but it isn't too bad. And these are painted on, not sculpted. And then the boots, correct choice on the boots. I do quite like this mould they've used. And of course, Cody's logo there and there. And yeah, overall, it is a good figure in hand. Just to have another Cody Elite, it is great. And I do really like this one. It does stand quite well. And for some reason, mine, the feet don't move too well, but it does stand quite well, so it's not too bad. And that being said, let's get on to some comparisons. Now, I have got quite a few Cody figures, but there's two that I want to compare this Elite to. And the first one that I want to compare the Elite to is, of course, his Supreme. And these are pretty much the same gear. You can tell the only difference is the boots. And now, overall, these two are great figures. And I think I put up a post on my Instagram about these the other day, which one people think's better. And overall, out of these two, I'm going to go with the Elite being better. Because the thing is, the Supreme, it's a great figure. You get loads of accessories. But it is a Supreme. It costs about £45, whereas an Elite costs £20. And I know they are quite hard to compare because of the price. But I just prefer the Elite just because it feels better in hand. And I know sometimes with AEW figures, sometimes feel a bit loose. And don't get me wrong, Elites are sometimes like this, but in this case, the Cody's all perfect. Whereas this Elite, this Ultimate's a bit loose, but it's not too bad. But I think I do prefer the Elite over the Ultimate. No, the Elite over the Supreme. But the Supreme, don't get me wrong, is a great figure. And we do have the the Unrivaled Series 4. And the reason I've got these two is just because I feel like this Series 4 at retail was about £20, as well as this Cody Elite. And so you can compare these two, and obviously I'm going to go with the Elite 101 being slightly better, although I do really like this figure if that focuses. They both look quite good, and it's good how we've sort of gone from AEW to WWE. And you know, overall, just to have Cody figures, it's great, especially if you're a Cody fan. So that being said, that wraps up this review and all the comparisons. And overall, I'm going to give this figure a 10 out of 10. And I don't rarely do that for figures, but this one's getting a 10 out of 10 just because there's nothing wrong with it. There is a few scuffs, but that's just mine. And it is a great figure. There is pretty much nothing wrong except the weight belt, but in person it's not too bad, and you can definitely see what they've been going for. And if you watched my video the other day, top 10 figures I want to get this year, this one was actually number 1 on the list, because I was quite hyped for it, and I'm glad that I've got it. So if you see this in your local Smiths or even home delivery or eBay or anywhere, I recommend getting this. Even if you was going to pay £35 for it, I'd say it's worth it, because it is a great figure, and one that I don't recommend missing out on, because I feel like this will probably go up in price. So that's my message for you all. Try getting the Elite 101 Cody Rhodes. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.